Hi, this is Brian Fogarty, and this is a video for Chapter 15 of the book Quantitative Social Science Data with R, second edition. And in this video, what we're going to do is look at some interpretations of our linear regression model that we started out the chapter with here, where the model is based on trying to explain respondents' views towards or their satisfaction with the current political system. Okay, so let's take a look at the model results again. Okay, so we had said that this is from the previous video on diagnostics, that we should use the COEF this here because this is the robust standard errors. The thing is, and I include this in the chapter, is that robust standard errors doesn't, they just apply to standard errors, not the estimates, and our statistical significance results are the same. So in the chapter we do is actually just to kind of mix things up a little bit. We look at a version of the results using the tidy function from tidy models, all right, or the suite tidy models, okay? And so we're going to do tidy and then model 1, right? That's what we saved our model with, okay? You might not like this because it's a little bit harder to, like, the p-values, how they show up here are actually a little hard to decipher, to be honest. We might prefer this setting, especially if you're getting started. You might actually prefer this setting just because it's easier to distinguish the significance ones, because this one you have to do a little math, right? You need to move decimal places. Although you could look at this here, this column. This is our t-value, t statistic. So again, we're going to do interpretations of the coefficients. We have 5 statistically significant predictors here. So let's go through them. All right. Now, as I discussed throughout the book, what we want to do is we want to provide an interpretation, but we also want to provide some discussion of the results, right? We don't, if you're writing a paper or something like that, you don't want just like a list of interpretations, of coefficient interpretations. No one wants to read that. So what we want is some interpretation and then some discussion about it. In this case, my kind of massive caveat is that I'm not an expert on Kenyan society or politics. It's difficult to provide that discussion without really knowing a lot of the substantive information, without being sort of whatever, an area expert or however you want to phrase it. So in this video, I'm going to kind of step back a little and not try to spin off some discussion too much. I'm just really going to focus on the interpretations. Okay, so all 5 of the variables that are statistically significant are ordinal. So that makes the interpretations pretty easy. They all start with the same kind of for a 1 unit increase. So with ideology, we would say for a 1 unit increase in ideology, respondents' satisfaction with the current political system is expected to increase by 0.182 units. I mean, it's a little weird here because our outcome variable has 10 values that don't have exactly like meaningful units attached. When we use the Scottish index of multiplication, that was percentages. So that's much easier to kind of conceptualize. But still, we can include the interpretations here. Right, so what that means is people who are more respondents are more conservative or more satisfied with the current political system. Responsibility, we would interpret it as for a 1 unit increase towards more of a belief in individual responsibility. This phrasing was kind of tricky, thinking of how to put it together. But all right, let me phrase it again. for a 1 unit increase towards more of a belief or a greater belief. I don't know, it's a trade-off. Towards more of a belief in individual responsibility, respondents' satisfaction with the current political system is expected to increase by 0.07 units. Again, a little weird. But it's saying that people who think that it's more individual responsibility are more satisfied with the current political system. Okay, confidence. This is confidence in national government. For a 1 unit increase in confidence in the national government, respondents' satisfaction with the current political system is expected to increase by 0.33 units. This makes sense. So if you're confident in the current national government, then you probably are satisfied to some extent, or more than others, with the current system. And then here for household financial, for a 1 unit increase in satisfaction with household finances, respondents' satisfaction with the current political system is expected to increase by 0.16. So, if people are doing well financially, they tend to prefer the status quo. So they're likely to say that, they're satisfied with the current situation. Again, it's sort of relative to others. And then with education, right, this is the only negative coefficient for the statistically significant predictors. We would interpret this as for a 1 unit increase in education levels, respondents' satisfaction with the current political system is expected to decrease by 0.41 units. So people who have higher education level have lower satisfaction in the system. Okay, so that's it. I mean, one thing we could do here is standardize these so that we can compare the size of effects. We might want to do that. That might be a good idea, just so we can get a sense of it, because since these are on different scales, since these have different number of categories, we can't directly compare the effect sizes. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.